And I still really can't believe that Amir passed. And it still weighs heavy on all of our hearts. So that part is at the forefront of all of our minds. Is we lost an incredible man, an incredible leader on our campus, and certainly a really dear friend of mine. In terms of the game, obviously the first half was not great. I felt like every single thing we were doing, we were self-inflicting about every wound you can imagine. Couldn't finish drives. Penalties all over the place. Really disappointed in the delay of game on the punt return in the first half. Obviously addressed and handled, but penalties like that. There's in-game penalties that you can live with. The pass interferences, things like that. Obviously, we got to coach it, but you can live with the late hit that kept the drive alive. That led to a score was hard. Again, we got to be more disciplined than that. And I think as we continue to grow, that's a huge emphasis for us. Going into the game, the emphasis was to stay focused one play at a time. And I feel like when we've done that, we've played really good football. When we lose focus, it doesn't look good. And the first half was back and forth, back and forth. I felt like the adjustments at halftime on both sides of the ball were really good. I thought we found different ways to run the football offensively. I felt like we got Bryce in a rhythm offensively. And then defensively, we affected the quarterback and created sacks, created negative yardage plays, and made it really hard. I think once we got going, it felt like the momentum shifted. Obviously, the second half defensively, the 7 sacks were huge. The scoring, I think, 6 straight possessions was absolutely huge. I felt like the momentum went. I felt like our guys locked in. I felt like we were better against the quarterback run. And then, obviously, the penalties went away. We played smart football against really, really good teams. That's really hard to do. It's a tough way to live. And we can't play that way where we don't come out in the first half and execute like we need to. That's coaching. That's on me. And I got to figure out a way for us to be able to come out and play smarter football. I think from an effort standpoint, it was really good. I just, from a focus standpoint, I'm really disappointed in the first half. I'm really, really happy with the second half. The last part is, and I should have said it at the beginning, but I'm super grateful for our band, man. You felt that energy in that stadium. That was awesome. Super grateful for our fans that came. You felt that energy in the stadium. And so the last 2 trips down here have been awesome. That was a really, really fun night. I'm glad the entire country got to see it tonight. And now we got to go get ready for a really, really good Navy team at home on homecoming. So I'll open it up to questions.
In the third quarter, it was 21-21. They had a 3rd and 1 at your 26. You rushed through an interception and then Decarius TFL. And from there, it sprung. I mean, how big was that?
Huge. It was when you can get off the field on 3rd down, especially when it's a momentum play like that, where you feel like, all right, man, you got the energy back. Not that I ever felt like we lacked energy. I think when you have a team, especially a team where there's a bunch of young guys playing, but a team where you're just continuing to learn how to win. I know people don't want to hear that. People don't have patience. I'm good with that. But you have to learn how to win, and you have to learn what it takes. Plays like that kind of spur that. They spur this energy, and then you kind of feed off of it, And the one thing I think our team is right now is they care about each other. They genuinely are growing to love each other. And when a play like that happens, man, the offense is over there geeked, and then when a play happens on offense, the defense is over there geeked, and whether you call that complimentary football or not, they're happy for each other. They pick each other up. That's culture. We're starting to feel like it should.
So in 2 weeks, you arguably the two worst moments of last year, 56-56, you avenged both of those games. You were down in both of them. So is this a state of course thing that you've had the last 2 weeks? You had tough times in both these games, but were able to come back and win both of them.
Yeah, I think what I told the team, and I mean this wholeheartedly, you against really good teams, you can't go down or play to just hang in there in the first half. What the last 2 weeks have shown is, man, you can wear people down and run the ball in the fourth quarter and execute on third downs and get off the field on third downs. But we can't, that's a hard way to live against a really good team, because against a really good team, you get down multiple scores, and then you're playing from behind. Now you can't run the ball like you want to. Now there is no play action pass game. You're sitting there drop back passing, and that's hard, especially when you're with a quarterback who it's his second start, and he's trying to get comfortable back there. You could see him get more comfortable as it went because you're ahead of the sticks and you're running the ball effectively. But it's a hard way to live. But we've happened to live on that side of it the last 2 weeks.
Go ahead.
How much can you say about what happened at halftime? I mean, 37 second half points. That's a blitz. And do you attribute it to the tempo on offense, or just an attitude shift, or just guys having that pride or the edge that you guys talk about? Or what would you put the emphasis as far as that outburst?
Yeah, I think offensively we did some really good things. They came out and presented a different picture, and we tend to get that a little bit because of the tempo and because of the spacing. Presented a different picture up front. They'd shown glimpses of it, but they have been consistently a four-down defense that it really doesn't change a whole lot, and have done a really good job at it. They showed a really different picture. They pressured more than what maybe we were expecting a little bit, and so the run game wasn't hitting. We made some adjustments. I thought we did a really good job, and then we were ready for them to go back to kind of what they knew, which tends to be a trend. And once they did, I felt like we got in a groove, wore them down, and were able to run the football. And then, again, that sets up the pass game. I think defensively, we were I thought, locked in the first half. We gave them literally two possessions, one on a penalty and another on a penalty on a punt return that you can't do against good teams. Well, in the second half, we just didn't do that. So we got off the field on third down, and obviously I felt like we wore them down, certainly wore their O-line down, and were able to create pressure. When you create sacks like that, and now you're not – and they're a rhythmic offense too. They're a tempo offense. When you create negative plays, certainly sacks, you get teams off rhythm, and I thought that was the difference defensively.
Coach, over the last 8 days, have been very difficult for everybody universally, but I was told that you typically the night before every game, you get a text from Amir, and last night, obviously, just kind of like with the emotion, did it kind of bubble up when no text came, and what was that kind of emotions like for you last night?
Yeah, I think beyond the text, you always felt like you had somebody that's going through the same thing you are, and that text didn't come, and this last week, probably not for a press conference, but this last week, when I tell you I've questioned so much of what all of this really is. When you lose somebody that's the same age and has lived the same type of life where you're constantly trying to make decisions that consist of work or family, work or family, work or family. And I think for both of us, the work has become our family. And yeah, it's. I think more than anything, I probably every time I think of it, I think about those three little kids that I'm fortunate. I got, after this game, my little man was standing down there, and my daughter was there, and my wife is there. My parents are here. Get to go hug them. Those little kids won't. And that's probably where my heart breaks more than anywhere else. Certainly not a text for me or anything like that. It puts things in perspective, and I don't mean to make it somber. I really don't. But I just told our team in the locker room that the two things I thought about, and I told them that Amir always talked about, was that love wins. When you play for something bigger than yourself, it's hard to let go of the rope. And whether we win or lose, just that we get to wake up and do this and play football, coach football, be around some incredible young guys that have incredible futures. Man, to God be the glory on that. And I don't wear my faith on my sleeve a whole lot. I think Amir did. And he's helped a lot of people grow tremendously, including myself. And I love him for that.
Bryce had some things not go his way early, but he hung in there. He just toughed it out. I see there were no turnovers in the game for him, for anybody. What did Bryce show you tonight?
Well, Bryce showed that he'll pull the ball and run it when he has to.
Yeah, you can do that.
That he is a really good athlete, and it's okay to pull it when you got to pull it. We even ran 2 design quarterback runs with him, and he looked really good. I thought once he settled in, he was really efficient. I thought he was settled in the first half, to be honest with you. And I think we put him in some tough spots. There were some growing pains there at wideout, too. I thought the O-line protected their butts off, which helped him. I thought the tight ends and the backs protected their butts off, which really helped him. But positive rushing yards for Bryce, which is awesome. And I say that really honestly, that as you get into a groove and you get comfortable, and like you think about it, when you're the backup quarterback, you don't get hit ever at practice, and so you come out, and the first hits he's taken in 2.5 years, he's played in some games a year ago, but in terms of when you're the guy, is right now. So I think he's starting to realize, man, like, I'm good. I can take him. I'm a big dude. Like, that was impressive. We ran him down there in the tight zone, and he did a really good job. I'm really proud of Bryce, man. Bryce's demeanor is really cool. He's really calm. He's collected. He's what a quarterback should be. And the guys really like him. They respect the heck out of him. And it's awesome. And then Izzy went in. I think it was awesome that our guys were excited that he got to go in and do his thing, because he's earned the right to do that. So it was good to see Bryce settled in and going. And it was awesome to see Byram down there rooting for him like crazy. So it was cool.
And Naquan Wright, he had a 100-yard game against Southern Miss, and he's kind of had a walkabout for about a month. Get the mojo back tonight, had the 64-yard run, and he kind of had the numbers we were used to with him again.
Yeah, I thought that run was absolutely monumental in us getting our mojo going. I think he's had a really funky season. I think it's taken him a while to find his groove. He played really well in this game a year ago. And, I think it was – obviously they were on our crossover film in the breakdown. And on Sunday, that Sunday going into the bye, you watch it and you're like, man, 5 is – look at him. Both running the ball, catching the ball, protectionally, he was phenomenal. I think it was good for him to watch that and see it all for – 13 days here. And I told him this morning, I said, dude, that 5 on that film, like, that's the 5 that everybody's used to, man. And I was so excited. That run was awesome. Up the sideline, broke really 2 tackles at the line of scrimmage and then pulled away. And he's practiced that way. He's prepared that way. Those guys, really those 3 guys kind of feed off of each other. I thought they all 3 did some really good things, but it was awesome. I mean, he got going, and really they all 3 did. I thought at the second half we ran the ball really, really well. And credit to all 3 of those guys. Credit to the tight ends. I thought Evan Dangler and Peyton Singletary did a really good job in the second half blocking. I thought the O-line did a really good job blocking with the adjustments. I feel like those guys are getting in a groove. But a lot of credit to Naquan to continue and just push through, man. It's hard.
And it seems like you've been fighting the field forever. You know, Alabama, Miami, Tulane, Memphis, who lose your starting quarterback, the Hurricanes. Just what's next? Now you're 4-4, and you know it seems like you finally are able to. Okay, we're kind of where we need to be, and we can move forward. Do you feel like this is like a hump that you got over here?
I think it goes back to, you guys are sick of me saying it. I think it goes back to our process and not letting outcomes determine any of it. Now, does it feel good to get a win? And we work really, really hard as a program to get wins. It's awesome for our guys to feel that reward. But I think when you live on highs and lows, then it's really, really hard to have your process be incredibly right. I think we're at a point in our program where our guys hold each other accountable. We have a culture where it's cool to do the right thing. I think we are still learning what the level of focus it takes day to day, which then rewinds back to how you practice, how you prepare, how you study film, to our process all the way through a Friday night into a Saturday morning, or in this case, a Thursday night into a Friday morning, into a Friday afternoon. The type of focus with the distractions that are out there right now, it takes to play elite level football. That's where I feel like we still have to grow monumentally. But it's certainly good to win back-to-back games and now go into a game where you know it's going to be physical, you know it's going to be violent, you know it'll be exciting. It's homecoming. It's the groundbreaking for what's going to be one of the coolest facilities in all of college sports. And I think just as much as it is for our fans, it'll be incredible. Now for our team, we got to go put it all together to go beat a really, really good football team that's lost one time this year. So go right back to catch our breath. We'll get home really late. We'll go honor an incredible man tomorrow at 11 o'clock at Yingling Center. And then we'll regroup and get going Sunday on Navy, which will be a really, really tough week.
Leo, go ahead online.
Coach, the second week in a row, your defense has kept the team in the 20. How proud are you of that, especially the way they're playing in the third and fourth quarter?
Yeah, really, really proud. You know, I think the first half was really hard, and you look at the total plays, they ran 80 plays. You know, you look at, and I'd be lying to you if I could give you the exact number, but the two drives that were able to get extended, probably 10 to 12 plays. And so now you're talking about in the high 60s, which then you're not as worn down in the fourth quarter. I think really disappointed in a couple of things there in the first half. Really, really encouraged and excited about the way we played in the second half. So certainly the 21 points is big. T.O. would tell you the expectation 0 points. But I thought we put it all together, and I was really proud of the negatives we created getting off the field on third down. You know, they were, 5 of 16 on third, 1 of 5 on fourth. That's 6 of 21. That's exceptional. Really, really proud, honestly, of the red zone. You know, the stop there on the 2-yard line, the forcing of the field goals was absolutely huge that were missed. You know, you say you want to play bend, don't break defense. It's like, again, you're going to have heart problems living like that. But, man, I thought they put it all together in the second half and played really, really hard. But, again, beyond that, played really focused defense and created negatives, created sacks, and got off the field on third down and fourth down.
Coach, in the middle of that phenomenal win streak by the men's basketball team last year, I asked Coach Amir, what has changed? He said, we became connected. Are you feeling that your team is starting to become connected?
I am. I am feeling like we're starting to become connected. I think I mentioned it earlier. We're starting to play for each other, and I talked about the offense and the defense, kind of feeding off of each other, loving on each other. I don't know. I obviously wasn't in that locker room, but it certainly felt that way watching those guys a year ago. They played really complimentary basketball. I think they all kind of settled into roles and understood their roles. And when one guy was having an off night, another guy would pick it up. I feel like we're as more guys are playing, more guys feel involved. I certainly feel that. I think connected is probably a good word. I would equate it to we're growing to love each other and understand each other, which you want that to happen in August. I think maybe happening a little bit later for us, but I think we've been connected all year. I think we're starting to really understand what we're all in this thing for, which again, starting to become each other.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Leo.
Go ahead, Nathan.